Hey adventurers, welcome back to New World. In today's video, we're diving deep into the top 4 builds you'll need to conquer the Gorgon raid like a true champion. Let's jump in and break down the absolute best setups for every role. There are many lineups and team compositions that you can have to complete the Gorgon raid. I will cover the best builds that can fit into any raid and be effective and helpful to your team with great impact. Whether you're a seasoned vet or a first-time raider, these setups will help you pull your weight. Now let's start with the essentials. No matter what role you're playing, every build in this video follows one rule. You should be running 4 refreshing and stacking as many enchanted ward perks as possible. This setup is your core foundation. It gives you more cooldown uptime and extra protection, making it essential for surviving high damage phases. Also, if you're lucky enough to get it, don't forget the Silken Cocoon. This piece is best in slot. It comes with the weapon perk Keen, and you can roll enchanted ward on it as well. If you have it, make sure to slot it into every build. One quick but important note before we move on. All builds should be running low constitution. Anywhere between 5 and 50 con is perfectly fine. Now keep in mind that you don't have to go super low like 5 or 15. Remember, you're more useful alive doing damage than dead doing none. For this video, I'll be using 50 con as the standard for all DPS builds. It gives a good balance between staying aggressive and not getting one-shot during tougher raid mechanics. I'm only mentioning these basics once to keep things clear and avoid repeating it with every build. Alright, let's kick things off with one of the strongest and most versatile weapons in the game, the Hatchet. The Hatchet is a burst damage powerhouse that also brings rend and weaken to the table, making it extremely valuable in raid scenarios. There are 2 top-tier hatchets that you'll want to look for. The Doomborn Hook. This one drops from the worm chests or can be crafted using worm materia. It comes with Keen Berserk and Vicious, and the ideal third perk to add is Refreshing Move. Using the right skill tree, you'll dish out massive damage and apply 20% rend with your rending throw, making your team's damage skyrocket. The second one is the Sin Artifact. This is another fantastic choice. It makes debuffs last 20% longer on both weapons, which is huge, and you can upgrade it with a gem slot or add Keen Berserk to maintain consistent DPS. Now for weapon combos. Pairing the Hatchet with a Greatsword is a killer combo. Any Greatsword works, but Serenity or Doomborn Tusk are the best out there. You'll apply your rends, then swap to the Hatchet for massive burst damage. A Warhammer is also a strong option, especially one with Thundering Shockwave or Clear Out to stack additional debuffs. You can use the Doomborn Maul that already has Shockwave, or the Hoplite Warhammer, both of which are upgradable to 7-5 gear score. If you're running Sin, a spear can be very effective as it lets your rends and dots last even longer, syncing perfectly with the artifact's effect. Personally, I love pairing the Hatchet with a Greatsword. It's especially useful against the first boss, helping you break the stamina faster and stay aggressive. Now let's talk gear artifacts. There are 2 great options to consider. Attuned Leather Pants that gives you extra attribute points, helping you reach critical stat breakpoints for your build, or the Winged Leather Shoes, which increase your damage while hasted, which pairs beautifully with the Berserk and other haste effects. Make sure you have Refreshing Torrent somewhere on your gear. It helps keep your abilities on cooldown less, letting you rotate through skills faster and stay in control during the fights. When it comes to jewelry, here's what you should be aiming for. Slash Protection and Health as your core perks on your amulet, and you want to have another amulet with nature protection for the final boss. You want slash damage and hearty on your ring, and a good third perk could be something like leeching, which adds some sustain to your damage output. As for the earring, go with your preferred perks based on your playstyle. Some great options are Endless Thirst or the Hoplite earring, which comes with a solid utility perks built in. For the attribute distribution in these builds, here's what I recommend as a solid baseline. 350 strength, this is your main stat for max damage output. 50 con, just enough to keep you alive and in the fight. 25 focus and 25 intelligence for that little extra resource efficiency and utility. Then pour the rest into dexterity to round out your damage profile. This setup gives you strong burst, solid survivability, and scales well with hybrid weapon pairings. This is the skill tree for the Hatchet. Your main rotation is simple and effective. Open with Rending Throw, then spam Berserk and Raging Torrent to pop out the big damage while maintaining uptime. As for your secondary weapon, here are the recommended skill trees depending on what you're pairing the Hatchet with. The strategy is the same. Use your rend or debuff skills first, then swap to your Hatchet to capitalize on that window and burst the boss down. Next up, we've got the Sword and Spear build. And this one packs huge impact thanks to its mix of buffs, debuffs, and powerful passives. It's not just about raw damage, it boosts your entire raid's performance. Let's start with the sword options. The Butcher artifact is a top tier choice and you can get it from the Mutated Dynasty dungeon. Make sure to add a gem slot to round it out. Another amazing option is the Hoplite Longsword. It's a beast. For your third perk, you can go with either Attunement for extra elemental pressure or Contagious Upheaval for spreading debuffs. If you're using the Hoplite Longsword, it pairs perfectly with the Artisan's Round Shield. This is a craftable shield with an illegal perk combo, Enchanted plus Vicious. If your weaponsmithing is maxed, definitely craft it. For the Butcher, a great shield option is the Night Veil Round Shield, which comes with the extremely valuable Refreshing Move perk, also an illegal perk on the Round Shield. And if you don't have either of these top tier shields, don't worry, any Round Shield with Enchanted or Vicious will get the job done. For your secondary, you've got two excellent spear options. The Venom artifact, which drops from the Siren Trial, is a strong choice for extended dot pressure. Or you can go with the Hoplite Spear, which is another top tier option. Whichever you choose, make sure to slot in the Bleeding Sweep perk. It adds a consistent dot and helps trigger your passives. The rotation is straightforward and super effective. Open with your spear, applying dots and debuffs, then swap to your sword, apply bleed and rend, and use your one with the shield passive to extend all active debuffs. And don't forget, with the leadership passive, you're also giving your group a 10% empower buff, making this build incredibly valuable for the whole team. It's a beautiful blend of support and damage and must have in any optimized Gorgon raid group. For gear artifacts, you've got two strong choices to round out this build. The Grey Wizard's Hat, which gives you a slight attribute boost, great for fine-tuning your stat distribution. Or the Featherweight artifact, which lets you wear heavier armor pieces while still maintaining a light equip load. Perfect for boosting survivability without losing mobility and bonus damage. As for recommended perks on your gear, look for Contagious Upheaval, and if you're not using the Butcher, Empowering Whirling Blade. You can also have Fortifying Perforate for extra defense. For your jewelry, you can stick with the same setup we used for the Hatchet build. 2 amulets with slash and nature protection plus health, ring with slash damage and hearty, and for the third perk on your ring, you can go with either leeching or bloodletting. And for the attributes, here's the recommended spread. 350 strength, your primary stat for max melee damage, 50 constitution, which keeps you alive through heavy mechanics, 25 intelligence, or 55 if you're using the Grey Wizard's Hat, and pour the rest into dexterity. This distribution gives you optimal power, sustain, and utility, making the most out of both your sword and spear. These are the skill trees you'll want to use for this build. It assumes you have another spear user in your group who's going full perforate and skewer, so you're offsetting your loadout to avoid overlap and maximize team efficiency. Your role is to apply dots and utility debuffs with your spear, then swap to your sword and shield to apply bleed and rend, extend buffs, and keep your group empowered. Clean, efficient, and incredibly raid friendly. Speaking of spear, our next build is the Weakened Spear, and trust me, this one's a blast to play. Your main weapon is a spear with Enfeebling Skewer, which applies Weaken on hit, making it super valuable for reducing the boss damage and protecting your team. You've got two solid weapon choices. Doomborn Stinger. This one drops from or can be crafted with worm materia from the worm raid. It comes with Enfeebling Skewer and Vicious by default. For the third perk, you can go with Refreshing Move, Keenly Empowered, or Keenly Jagged, depending on your playstyle. Hoplite Spear. Another excellent option. You'll just need to add the Enfeebling Skewer perk manually to complete the build. This build is all about stacking pressure while keeping the boss's damage output in check. It's fun, fast, and a key part of any smart group. As for your secondary weapon, you can either run a Great Axe for clumps, but what you mainly want to use, especially on boss fights, is the Aconite Bow. Now this bow isn't the best as a main weapon, but it sure does shine as a secondary. You'll want to throw all your bow abilities to apply dots on the boss and then swap to spear as your main weapon. So remember to put a nature dot rune glass on your spear to benefit from the extra damage it provides. For your gear artifact, the best in slot option here is the Attuned Leather Pants, giving you that extra attribute boost to hit the perfect stat spread. As for gear perks, the two you're looking for are Sundering Javelin to boost your Javelin's rend effect, and Fortifying Perforate, which gives you that extra layer of defense while applying pressure with Perforate. Now let's talk about jewelry. Health is essential on the amulet. I recommend having 2 amulets ready to swap based on the boss, one with slash protection for bosses 1 and 2, and one with nature protection for the final boss. For the ring, go for hearty and thrust damage. A solid third perk would be leeching or enfeebling. The hoplite earring is perfect here, it comes with the 2 core perks you need. Alternatively, Endless Thirst is a great choice for sustain. If you're looking to customize, consider Nimble or Empowering Toast as a solid third perk options. This setup maximizes your survivability, utility, and consistent debuff uptime, making the Weakened Spear a clutch pick for ratings. For attributes, here's the ideal setup for this build. 350 strength, your main damage stat, 25 intelligence, 25 focus, and 50 constitution for survivability. Then, dump the rest into dexterity. As for your skill trees, this build assumes that you're the main spear player in the group. You'll be taking the full perforate and skewer, focusing on stacking rend, bleed, and weaken for the team, and applying constant pressure on enemies. Your secondary weapon is flexible. A great axe is excellent for pulling and grouping mobs, giving you solid AoE control when needed. And if you're using the Aconite artifact, make sure to leverage the bow's dot ability. They can be incredibly effective for chip damage and passive pressure across the fight. This build is not only fun to play, but also super valuable for your raid consistency and mob control. Finally, let's talk about what is easily the best support weapon in the game, the Flail. While any Flail with refreshing move and disdained infliction can work, the absolute best in slot is the Power Stone artifact. With this weapon, you'll inflict 20% weaken on enemies just by attacking, and it already comes with refreshing move baked in. That alone makes it insanely valuable. The Flail shines in its role as a true support powerhouse. It empowers your allies, boosts their defenses, and extends the duration of debuffs on enemies, all while keeping you in the fight. Most of your time will be spent staying on the Flail, supporting your team, and applying debuffs. For your secondary, you've got 2 great options. A Life Staff is a natural fit, especially since you'll already have 200 plus focus. This lets you be a backup healer in clutch moments. If your group doesn't have a Warhammer, that's another solid pick. You can apply Rands, then swap to the Flail to extend those debuffs even further. The main perks that you want for this build are Powerful Eruption and Crowded Bludgeon. As for your gear, the best artifact to use here is the Featherweight. It gives you flexibility. You can either wear heavier gear while using a round shield, or stay in light armor while rocking a kite shield. Both setups work great depending on your team composition and playstyle. When it comes to shields, the top 2 picks are the Artisan's Round Shield, boosts your damage output, making it a great pick for staying aggressive while supporting, and the Artisan's Kite Shield, offers 5% extra cooldown reduction, letting you spam your abilities more often. But honestly, any shield with the right perks will do the job. Speaking of perks, the one you should be looking for on your gear are Crowded Bludgeon and Mending Vortex. For your jewelry, here's the ideal setup. For your earring, go with Endless Thirst for great sustain. If you're customizing, consider Nimble or Empowering Toast as a solid third perk. As with the previous builds, run with 2 amulets, one with slash protection for the first and second boss, and one with nature protection for the final boss. Make sure both amulets include health as a core perk. For your ring, top choices are the Elemental Band or a crafted ring with strike damage and hearty. A strong third perk option is Enfeebling to further enhance your weaken uptime. For your attributes, the distribution is simple and effective. 50 Constitution, just enough for survivability. 200 Focus, this is your core stat for empowering your Flail's support abilities and healing potential. And then pour the rest into Strength to boost your overall damage output and scaling. This setup gives you a strong mix of defense, utility, and offensive power, making you a true raid MVP. Here are the skill trees you want to use. This setup gives you strong utility, great team sustain, and the ability to rotate your skills constantly, which is what makes the Flail such a brokenly good support weapon in raid. When it comes to gems, you can go with your preferred defensive setup, but here's a solid general approach. Slot onyxes on your gear for overall physical defense during the first 2 bosses, then swap in some ambers for the final boss who deals heavy nature damage. As for Heartrunes, you've got a few strong options. but the top two are Stoneform for self-cleansing and extra survivability during high-pressure mechanics, and Vines, great for extra crowd control and utility, especially in mob-heavy phases. If you want a clear view of these builds with all the perks, gear, and skill trees fully laid out, feel free to check them out on Discord. Everything is listed and organized for easy reference. The link is in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and special thanks to all my amazing supporters. Your encouragement means the world and keeps this content going. Good luck to everyone jumping into the Gorgon raid. I hope these builds help you crush it. Take care and see you in the next one. IchBinAyoub.